Hey yo, what's good? It's Christian from Mordechrist. Welcome back to the channel. If you didn't know, I recently put out a song called What the hell is that song called? If you didn't know, I recently put out a song called M736. It's my own song under my own artist name. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. Earlier this year, I made a goal for myself and I said I want to put out my own song. So I made that goal for a few different reasons, but it finally came out, man. I'm really excited and I'm really proud of it. So today I wanted to show you guys how I made it, kind of what my thought process was, and give you a little bit of a background on the song. I don't know how long this video will be, but I will put chapters so you can watch. I will recommend that you watch these first couple minutes just because I think they're informative, and you can see kind of how the rest of the song was built by watching this first part. I think that's it. Let's just get into it. So let's go. So I take the train to work, and this is something that I've recently started doing, and it's been super awesome because I can just work on music the entire time. So 35 minutes to work, I'm working on music, and then same thing when I'm on my way home. So I'm like in Ableton now way more than I used to be. Before I used to just be in there like only on the weekends or if I got home and I had time, but like now it's like, oh, I'm in there. I'm like in it now. So one night I'm watching tutorials, and I'm watching some Vital tutorials because I want to get better at sound design. And the next day on the train, I go and I'm like, yeah, let me mess around with some sounds in Vital. So I go in there, I make a really simple melody. I'll show you the first one that I made, and it sounds like this. It sounds more complicated than it is because I have effects on there. I'll show you guys like what the piano actually sounds like. I'll show you, this is what the MIDI looks like. So that's pretty much it, right? So I take that, I copy it down to another sound, and then just twist the knobs again in Vital. Maybe it's in a higher octave too. And then after that, I just lay some like small leads on top. And I have this other one. Heavy on the delay, as you can see. Cool. So I kind of have those four sounds, and I'm like, yeah, that sounds pretty cool. I think, you know, I'm learning some cool stuff in Vital, and you know, sounds good. So I was like, not really sure what to do with this. So I was like, I don't know, we'll see. So I decided to take these 4 tracks and then just record it into one track, which kind of brings me to this point I want to really drive home in this video, and it's that if you guys are not resampling or haven't tried doing it, I highly recommend that you do it, because basically this entire song was built off of this next thing I'm going to show you. So watch, check this out. So I basically created those sounds in a group and made a separate audio track, and then I'm going to send the group audio to this audio track and record it into one track. So check this out. Now I have this on one track, and I'm like, yeah, I don't really know what to do, but if we just solo this, now we have all the sounds. Then after that, what I do is I throw a plugin on it called Cymatics Deja Vu. It's a free plugin. I highly recommend you use it. It's basically like the equivalent of Halftime, maybe similar to Grosbeat. Maybe Grosbeat does this stuff if you use FL Studio. But yeah, it's a free like Halftime plugin. Go download it. I use it all the time. I usually throw this on stuff when I want to create like another texture, or maybe just add, you know, a little something under the other pieces that I put together, just to have like a little bed for everything to sit on. But once I threw this onto the track that we just recorded, you get this sound right here. That should sound very familiar to you if you have heard the song. And that recording right there is essentially the foundation of the entire song. So I'll show you what I mean right now. Kind of like what I told you guys earlier, that one track that we put the cymatics on, that's the basis of this whole song. I took that track and then I put it into a simpler device so I could play it across my MIDI keyboard. Now you can probably guess where this is going. And after fiddling around a little bit with that, you end up with this. Which is basically the intro of the song. So you have that at the beginning. Then you have some drums, which are basically a splice loop that I found and then layered with a bunch of other sounds. There's also a shaker in there that I recorded myself, which I thought was pretty cool. And then one of the more interesting parts about this is I was making this, right? And I originally had a synth bass playing in the song. But the whole time I was like, dude, this would go so much crazier if there was a live bass. At the time I was making it though, I was already in a few different rabbit holes, right? I was really concerned about the vocals. I was trying to get those to sound right. I was also really concerned about that build-up part. I was like, dude, how do I get this part to sound good? How do I get these vocals to sound good? So I was doing extensive research in those areas, right? To then need to go down another rabbit hole on this bass, I was like, dude, I just can't. I just don't think I have the energy to do that. And I don't know, I'd have to start from square one on like what amp sim I'd have to get and what effects need to go on it and all this stuff, right? I just didn't want to put up with it. So I hit up one of my new homies, Mike, or the Darling Tripod. He's an insanely talented multi-instrumentalist. The dude is nuts. His music is insane. And I hit him up and I was like, dude, do you mind recording some bass for me? And he was like, hell yeah. I sent him the bass that I had written. The dude turned it around in a day. And then I had live bass in my project. And I was like so stoked on it. And I really think the live bass really like took it up another level. Yeah, so he sent me, you know, a clean track and one with effects, and I basically blended the two. And then you get this dirty one. That's pretty much the intro. A little auto filter just to transition into the first verse. Going back to the original Vital Sounds recording, that's all this first little pad part is. It's the same thing. It's just different chops playing and then with some heavy EQ. I have this lead that I reused again from the original Vital Sounds project. And then the bass and the drums are the same thing pretty much. There is a change in the bass part, which goes pretty crazy. I will play that for you. The reason why there's two different bass parts, I couldn't decide which one sounded better, so I was like, how about both of them? And then it ended up sounding cool to me, so that's pretty much it. I'm probably not gonna go into super detail on every little single thing I did. If you have any questions, just hit me up. You guys know how to find me. So let's talk about this middle part right here. You've probably guessed that this middle part is really just like almost a copy and paste of that original Vital Sounds project, right? I start out with this transition right here. That's unchanged exactly as I recorded it originally. All of the inspiration behind this song is just the fact that I made it on the Metrolink on the train. I was just thinking about the Metrolink a lot because I was on it while I was making it. So I was about to get on the train one day coming home from work and I was like, dude, it'd be so sick if I could get one of the announcements of the train coming. And that's what this little sample is here. I just recorded this on my phone and then just chopped it up a little bit and then just threw it in the song as like a good little transition piece.
M736 service to South Paris will arrive shortly on track 3.
It's just a cool little texture because coming out of that first part, which is like one type of song, going into the next part is pretty jarring. It's like, what the hell's going on? So like adding this little texture kind of like, I don't know, I feel like bridges the gap a little bit. So yeah, we have that texture, and then once that comes in, we have this pretty deep bass. I love deep synth basses, Reese basses, all that shit. So like anytime I can throw it in, I'm gonna throw it in.
M736 service to South Paris will arrive shortly on track 3.
And again, just right here with this lead, this is the second time I bring it back. So it was already in the verse previously, now it's in this part right here.
On track 3.
It sounds like there's a lot more going on than actually is, but really it's those three sounds. With the bass taking up a lot of space, the lead on top, and then the Vital Sounds cymatics recording. But yeah, that's pretty much that part right there. And then from that section, we go straight into the buildup. We've been dealing with the cymatics recording this whole time, the halftime version of it. Now what I do is go back to the unslowed down version. So these 3 layers that I have right here are just those original sounds. Panned a little bit differently. Underneath that, I have this one little part here, which is just one little section of this original recording right here, and you will recognize it. Check it out. So all that is, I believe, is just this section right here of I think it's this right here. Yeah, so if I copy and paste that, and I duplicate that. Yep, that's all that is. So I just, again, wanted to just have something under this. So watch, if I just take this away. So watch when I add this little pattern in underneath. Hey. It adds like a bounce to it. It's almost like a percussive element. Once I added that, I was like, oh yeah, that sounds sick. It's like moving back and forth. So yeah, and then that brings me to the buildup part. Really the buildup is only this one drum loop and then these kicks, and I hear another sound. Yeah, it looks like there's a white noise in there. A little automation too. And that's pretty much it. That's all the sounds in that section. It sounds like in the actual song, it sounds like there's so much going on. All right, so that pretty much covers that section. Kind of like what I said earlier, I don't listen to electronic music, so I was like, I don't know how to make a drop. Like, what do I even do right here? This is like, I don't know. So when I was originally adding this like chopped up part under here, I think what I did was I had like I put it out like too many times. I just had it out like this. And I was like, yo, that kind of goes crazy, right? And then it kind of reminded me, like, I'm sure you guys have seen that video of Lil Yachty when he's like he's like coming out at Rolling Loud, right? And he's like just like dancing like a goofy goober, right? And then like the beat drops and like the entire crowd is going crazy. Like I heard that like little back and forth. And I was like, dude, if there was a crazy bass with that, that would go so hard. And then that's kind of exactly how the next part was made. That's basically what I was thinking of at making this part. I'm like, dude, if somehow one day I ever did this live, like I would want this part to have that same Lil Yachty energy from the clip. So like that was my goal with this part and like what I envisioned in my head. So I wanted it to have that bounce. I wanted it to have that bass. And it's really my favorite part of the song because I think it just goes hard. Like I can picture the crowd in my head like jumping up and down. Who knows, maybe you'll see it live one day. This part I think is probably the most simple out of the whole entire song. So obviously we have this chopped up synth part. We have a tag. There's a bit of a story with this tag. I think it's the tag I'm gonna use going forward.
154677.
And then at the beginning, I have a snare starting here.
154677.
And then just this riser. The drums are very simple. So watch, I'll just solo the drums for you guys. Hey. That's all that's happening with the drums. So what's doing a lot of the legwork is this fucking 808, right? And what I think is cool about the 808 and the drums is specifically with the kick in the 808 is like the kick and the 808 would hit at the same time, and then the 808 will finish, and then another kick will come in without the 808. So it's like they do like this back and forth, and I feel like it gives it like this cool swing. So watch, I'll play just the drums and just the 808. That goes hard just by itself. So this sample thing really goes back to the previous part back here. So before I settled on my vocals, I was like, I need some vocals here. I couldn't think of any lyrics for my vocals. Anything I was recording wasn't sounding good. And I was just like, ugh, I need to put something in here. I'll just extend this out. Let's see what it is.
Close your eyes, no surprises.
So yeah, it's just a random sample from Splice, just a random ass sample. I put like vocals F major and then that one just popped up. And I was listening to it with this build-up part. I was like, this sounds stupid. And then I ended up chopping it up very small and then just used it as an accent in this. That's really the whole song. Like I said, It's really just that one audio track that I recorded from Vital throughout the whole song. And in my opinion, that's the reason why these parts make sense. Maybe if you're listening to it and you don't know that, it doesn't make sense. But to me, I'm like, dude, this song is like so different. It's like 3 different genres in one song, but they all kind of make sense because they're all made from the same exact parts. I have this bad habit of just making stuff with no direction. I'll just be like, I don't know, what sounds good? Oh, what if this, oh, this sounds like a little yachty drop at Rolling Loud. What if I made it, there really is no direction, and it's kind of a bad habit that I really should break. So I had these 3 ideas all separate. I was like, wait, what if I just put them together? Or what if I take this post-punk part and put it at the beginning, put that buildup in the middle, and then I'm like, okay, that's the song. And then from there, we get into vocals. Yo, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you guys. I'm not a vocalist, not at all. There's crazy processing on my voice. It just is what it is, all right? I will tell you straight up, this vocal chain that I have, it is straight up ripped off from the Kenny Beats vocal template. If you just search up Kenny Beats vocal template on YouTube, he goes in depth on like this exact chain here. And I basically took that and I ripped it off completely. I'll solo the vocals for you guys.
If you wanna go, then just say that. All the conversations I would
Have these
take
hard
back.
panned left and right, the doubles.
I don't wanna, hey, I don't wanna talk every day. Yeah, I hope I swerve out of this lane.
You can hear some automation there. So these vocals are going to be pretty much the same throughout. On the middle section, I do have like a formant shifter on them. I don't remember. I think it's on the main vocal, and then the other ones are just doubles. So here's what the main vocal sounds like.
Had enough, seen enough, bitch, I'm on the rise. Out of touch, indica, got me in the sky. Always gotta wonder who's real or disguise. See it in my mind, guarantee it come alive.
Oh, actually, I think the formant shifting is on my doubles.
Had enough, seen enough,
Bitch, I'm on the rise.
out of touch, indica,
Got me in the sky.
always gotta wonder who is real or disguise. See it in my mind, guarantee it come alive.
So yeah, this part, because I knew it was going to be buried in effects, I was like, I don't really care about this part. I'm not really tripping about if these are perfect.
Had enough, seen enough, bitch, I'm on the rise. Out of touch, indica, got me in the sky. Always gotta wonder who's real or disguise. See it in my mind, guarantee it come alive.
Going over to the last part, nothing really that interesting. Again, I think the only thing that's really different from the other parts is I'm kind of doing more of like a whisper or like a softer spoken vocal, I guess.
If you wanna go, then just
And I have the effect right here.
say that. All the conversations I would take back.
These down here are just a bunch of doubles. I recorded them like 4 times and then just pitched them, or not pitched them, panned them differently. And then I have them just emphasizing certain words and phrases here, so watch.
I don't wanna choose all these things that you choose. I don't wanna hear anything you have to say. Got me fucked up if you come around me. Counting up a stack, I'm a certified king. I'm a conductor on this train. Hands around me, yeah, 215 is a blasphemy. Hit it from the back on the Metro link. Atheist girl, but I make her believe. Swear to God, I'ma get it right. Fuck it.
Dude, that's pretty much it. Shout out everyone that took a listen to it. I really appreciate you guys checking it out. This was super fun to make. I was getting stressed out, a couple months ago because I was like, dude, I need to make this song. Like, what the heck am I gonna do? I came up with a few different ideas. Nothing was really hitting. I laid down a few vocals on some song ideas. I was like, dude, this shit's not it, man. And then I stumbled across this, and then I was like, dude, this is the one. M736 is now streaming everywhere. If you guys have any questions on anything specific, just let me know. Shoot me a message or throw a comment down. We can go over it. I'm still very much learning all this stuff, so It is what it is. It's something I'm proud of in this moment as I record this, so we'll see how I feel in a few months. Anyway, I think that's it, bros. You know where to find me. Peace.